Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking all about fiber. We're going to be talking about what it is, how to get enough of it, where to find it in food, basically everything you need to know when it comes to consuming fiber and why you want to. If you guys are new around here, welcome to my channel. My name is Becca. I'm a registered dietitian. I love sharing information, nutrition, education, information here on my channel. I'm so passionate about educating others on how to actually eat for health, but in a way that's very sustainable and approachable. I am very much into intuitive eating. You'll find a lot of that here on my channel. It's what my whole group coaching program is based around. But I'm also equally as passionate about really educating on like the minutia of nutrition, but what actually matters to you and your biology and what you need to know when it comes to actually eating healthy. There is so much information out there, and I try my best to cut through all the noise, give you the credible, science-backed, actual biology-based information that's going to be relevant to you as you're trying to eat healthy. And in today's video, as I said, we are going to be discussing fiber. So fiber is actually technically a carbohydrate. However, it cannot be broken down in your intestines into smaller forms of carbohydrate like glucose. So it actually never gets absorbed into your body. It's too big, it's unable to pass across your intestinal lining, actually into your bloodstream, which is how it gains access into your body. So it just passes through your intestine undigested. But just because it passes on through doesn't mean that it plays no role. There's actually a lot of benefits to fiber. The biggest one being assisting proper digestion, healthy digestion, but also it can help to reduce your cholesterol levels as well, which we'll get to that. Now you can actually buy nowadays like fiber supplements. If you've ever heard of something like Metamucil, there are all different kinds of powders that you can stir into liquids and essentially supplement fiber that way. And I know a lot of people, will go that route. My dad, actually, I always think of him because he takes those kinds of supplements, and I'm always like, you can get that from food, right? But anyway, so I'm going to talk to you guys about how to actually get fiber from food. You may have some idea of like what foods are full of fiber, but we're going to really go in depth so you know what all of your options are, all of the fiber-rich foods out there, so that you can actually incorporate these, on a regular basis into your diet. And then from there, you can see how you feel, how you respond to these high fiber foods, if they're helping you. Fiber is always a good thing, but it's always still important to have that, check-in piece where you're actually paying attention. You're not just going off of some guideline that some dietitian on YouTube told you. You're actually seeing how it's affecting you and applying to you and how it's actually making you feel, because it's super important to take, credible nutrition information, but also pay attention to how it's working for you and your body and bring that into it too. That's the intuitive piece. So on average, it is recommended for adults to consume about 25 to 30 grams of fiber a day. And most people, actually tend to fall short of this number. So I hope that this video will equip you a little better to incorporate higher fiber foods in your diet so that you do get close to that mark. Now, I am not one for counting and tracking grams, but I am one for, eating lots of whole real foods. And then again, focusing on how you feel, how it's affecting you, how it's affecting your digestion, how do you actually feel when you eat these foods? Because that is going to give you a huge indicator of, if you're getting what you need. So like I said, I am not one for like counting and tracking food because I think that can just get way too tedious and stressful, and it's just not necessary. However, you may be wondering, well, if I'm not, doing any kind of tracking, how do I even know how much fiber is in food? And I'm just going to list off a few things so you can kind of get an idea. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. We're not looking for exact numbers. At least I am not after that. This is just a list. This is just from Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. One large pear with the skin on is 7 grams. Pears are very, very high in fiber if you didn't know that. 1 cup of fresh raspberries is 8 grams. Half a medium avocado is 5 grams. 1 ounce, which is not very many, of almonds is 3.5 grams. Half a cup of cooked black beans, 7.5 grams. So, if you're eating fruits, if you're eating vegetables, if you're eating some nuts, if you're eating beans, the foods that are high in fiber, which we're going to go through full lists in a minute, if you're incorporating those those foods into your diet, then you are probably going, like, you know, daily, you're getting a good mix of these things. Not every day is going to be the same, and that's fine. But if you are incorporating these foods in general into your diet, then you're probably going to be getting a good amount of fiber. So next, I want to talk about the actual role of fiber, what it's doing in your GI tract, because remember, it doesn't ever actually enter into your body. It just stays in your digestive system. So when we're looking at function, you actually have to look at the different types of fibers. There is insoluble fiber, and there's also soluble fiber. So soluble fiber, when it's in your GI tract, it actually creates like a gel-like substance, and this actually slows digestion down, which can be a good thing because it allows your body a little bit more time to actually absorb and break down, you know, and get all the nutrients from your food possible. Another thing that this does is it extends your fullness, meaning you're satiated, you're feeling full, you're not feeling hungry for a more extended period of time, because again, that food is just moving through more slowly. So we have more time before we're emptying out and things are, you know, we're starting to get our hunger signals going again. So if you've ever had like certain diet foods where they, you know, they actually like send you the food and you're only supposed to eat this specific food, which is like literally the least sustainable thing I've ever heard. But a lot of times it's just regular food with much smaller portions, and they just pump it full of soluble fiber. So you're getting full off of much less food for a lower amount of calories, because you're not digesting and absorbing fiber, it technically has no calories. So soluble creates the gel-like substance, it slows down digestion, and it also extends that feeling of fullness that we are feeling. But then another thing that soluble fiber does is it actually binds to cholesterol. So any cholesterol that you either consume from food or gets pushed into your GI tract in the form of bile, you actually can reabsorb that cholesterol into your body. We use cholesterol, like I just said, in bile, which is like a liquid that gets squirted into our GI tract that helps us break down fat. Cholesterol is part of the makeup of bile, so we need it. We actually use it. It's part of one of the functions. It's required to make bile. So we can bring it back into the body, but people who have higher cholesterol levels, we don't necessarily need to be reabsorbing all of that cholesterol if we're actually trying to lower the amount of cholesterol level, you know, in our body at any given time. So what soluble fiber can do is it actually binds to cholesterol, holds onto it, wraps its arms around it, if you will, so it can't be absorbed back into the body because the fiber is holding onto it. And as we know, the fiber is not going into your body. The fiber is just going to continue through your digestive tract until it gets excreted. Okay, now food sources of soluble fiber, meaning the foods that you can eat to bring the soluble fiber into your digestive system. Oats is a big one, so oatmeal. Ground flax seeds, you have to make sure that they're ground if you actually want to reap the benefits and get that fiber out of the flax seeds, otherwise they'll just pass on through. Beans, lentils, nuts and berries, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, sweet potatoes, apricots, carrots, pears, also psyllium husk. These are all great sources, high sources of soluble fiber. So if you are consuming these foods, you are bringing in a good amount of soluble fiber. Next, we have insoluble fiber. So this is almost kind of like the inverse of soluble fiber because it has a totally different effect on your GI tract. So insoluble fiber is actually going to pull water into the intestine. It attracts water to where it is, which is actually going to speed up digestion. So for example, if you think of something like coffee or technically caffeine is osmotic, meaning it pulls water to wherever it is. So a lot of times when you drink coffee, what happens afterwards? It makes you poop. A lot of people rely on that morning cup of coffee to keep them regular, and it will, because it's osmotic, because it pulls water to where it is. Insoluble fiber can have this exact same effect because it's pulling water into your digestive system. It's just helping to get everything a little bit more slippery, if you will. I know this is like really a fun conversation, but it's important because it's part of our health. And that is just going to help speed up the actual transit time of any, matter that's moving through your GI tract. Insoluble fiber will also increase like the weight and the bulk of your stools. So it's really helping to, it's basically helping to make you poop, okay? And the other one, soluble fiber, is if, it's not that it's going to make you constipated by any means. Fiber is fiber. It's going to help with digestion. But if you are super constipated, you might want to be focusing a little bit more on the insoluble foods to get things going instead of focusing on all of the soluble, high sources of soluble fiber. That's just going to, again, kind of slow things down. So this is not something that you need to be extremely vigilant of by any means, but it's a handy thing to understand, because if you do kind of get yourself in that situation, or maybe it's the other way where things are moving too quickly, you can, eat some sweet potatoes and some berries and maybe some ground flax seeds to kind of help yourself get regulated and get regular again. High sources of insoluble fiber, I like to think of these as more of like your carby fiber sources. So like wheat bread, wheat bran, brown rice. Potatoes, beans also make this list because they're just very high in fiber in general. Chia seeds, but then also your dark leafy greens are going to fall in this category. Cauliflower, green beans, avocados, these are all higher sources of insoluble fiber. Now, if you're hearing this list and none of these things are things that you really eat, or at least not on like a daily or very regular basis, then this would be something to focus on to improve your diet. Again, we don't have to track. We're not looking for exact numbers here, because your body is going to tell you. If your digestion is not great, then this is something that you could definitely take a look at. Maybe it's a lack of fiber. Maybe you don't have enough fiber. Maybe you're eating too much of a certain kind of fiber and you need a better balance. Take these lists, and when next time you go to the grocery store, try and pick up some of these foods. Try and get used to consuming some of these foods. You don't have to force feed yourself. If you don't like ground flax seeds, don't eat ground flax seeds. Maybe eat some pears instead if you like those. So you don't have to eat everything on this list, but it's a great way to look at the whole picture. What are all of my options? What do I want to eat? What sounds good to me? And this could change all the time, right? This is a fluid thing. We're talking about lifelong, sustainable, healthy eating. So it's going to switch up, and that's okay. And that's kind of the goal, right? We want to be able to keep things interesting and not just be eating the same thing all the time for the sake of health, because that's boring. And then you're missing out on so much satisfaction you could be getting from food. So that is fiber, what it is, how much, roughly you need, and where to find it. I hope that you guys found this video helpful. Let me know if you really enjoy these more instructional nutrition videos. And if you do, please let me know in the comments what other topics you would like for me to discuss. If you haven't already checked out, I have a playlist called Nutrition 101 that I've been adding to for years now. Some of the videos are older, but the content is still excellent, it's still relevant, and they are very similar to this teaching style of video. So if you haven't seen those, I would definitely go check it out. If there is a topic that has not yet been covered in that playlist or in that series, please comment down below. Let me know what you want to see. I can talk about nutrition all day, you guys. This is like my wheelhouse. So make sure to let me know in the comments so that I can add that to my list. If you are looking for more in-depth nutrition, intuitive eating, instruction, or coaching, I do have a program, Mindful Eating Made Simple, that is going to be reopening very soon for enrollment. So make sure that you are checking that out, hopping on the wait list, so that you can be the first to know when it is officially open for enrollment again. It's gonna be opening very, very, very soon. And I am very, very, very excited because I love working with you guys on more of an individual basis. But that is all I have for this video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to comment down below other topics you would like for me to discuss. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.